Welcome.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Monday.
How did I get on this board?
I don't know really what to say. Emily and I are together. We don't have us on camera together, but Emily and I are in the same room, so that's exciting. Hence why there's no image if you're watching on YouTube right now. Yeah, we have a little bit of valid news, I guess. I don't know if you want to talk about it, Emily.
Well, I guess we can start with that video.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey.
Oh my, who's barking?
I'm sorry.
This is barking. There wasn't really any new, like everything in the video we had seen kind of in pictures, but it was cool to see it like in video form, I guess.
Yeah.
Them like actually filming a scene and then seeing the Capitol citizens walk around in their cute 50s clothes.
That was cool. Just
And the moped guy, he was riding
The
around.
moped looks fun. I feel like with the moped you can like go faster, you know, you can have
The
more.
cars looked funner though.
No. I like the mopeds. Well, I also don't like driving, so
Yeah.
maybe that has to do with it.
the moped looked fun. Yeah, anything about that video that anyone wanted to talk about? No.
No.
Okay. Well, and then we got the picture of Francis.
Lounging on the chair
Yeah.
in what appears to be the penthouse, like the Snow's penthouse, which is pretty cool.
I feel we're all sleepy this week. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Rip,
on, it's a picture of
Ronnie, we
Francis.
miss you.
I just wonder what Gary Ross would have done differently.
Nothing.
I knew you'd say that, Chase.
You would have given up.
He would have been dressed up like Snow in the room
I'm sure of that, Chase.
because he dressed up like the tributes. So.
Wear the skirt. He would have worn.
Oh no!
Yes, you would have. Yeah.
Burn the skirt.
Not the skirt.
I feel like, do you think it's gonna be the grandmam like laying on that?
Ooh, I can see that.
It could be where her spot is. It's
Like a lounge.
she's like in the one area where the light is like hung up, and
Yeah.
that's just where she's.
Yeah.
I love that.
I didn't
Jimmy
picture
Fallon.
their apartment that bad.
That's what I thought too. Like seeing it, I knew it was kind of like run down, but I didn't imagine it being like that bad.
I just
That
Do we
doesn't
know
look
for
like-
sure that it's the penthouse?
Well, I think we're just.
Because could it be?
oh,
I mean, I guess it would be kind of too nice for District 12, but maybe not.
It just looked dirty. It didn't even look like we don't have money. It looked like we don't have water and soap.
I feel like looking at the wallpaper, it seems capital to me.
Yeah.
But see, to me, it reminds me of the Victor Village homes. You see what I mean?
I see it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see
We're
that.
gonna have to look at the picture.
But like, what would the Victor Village houses be?
But I feel like at that point in Pan Am history, everything's not like all set up like that. And like the Covey all live in the same house, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, we could both be wrong. You know, like this could be yet another place, but
Yeah. I don't know. That's just what I'm assuming. That's like my best guess. But yeah, it could totally be something different.
It reminds me of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the house that they lived in.
Oh yeah,
Like
it
that's
so
the bed all the
does.
grandparents lived in. Get up, Uncle Grandpa Joe.
I'm not familiar with this reference.
What?
Whoa.
That's in
The grandpa that who gets out of bed for the first time in 40 years to go eat chocolate?
Oh my gosh, a classic, Holly.
The most iconic scene in cinema
Such a-
history.
Such a creepy movie.
It's
Either
the
version
movie.
you want to pick, they're both weird.
Taylor.
Taylor's here.
Oh
I'm here.
Yay. Just talking about the penthouse.
Oh no.
Whoa.
What? Can't understand.
One more time, Chase.
Robot chase.
You know, I almost feel like it could be the
What?
penthouse, like when they're little kids, because
True.
the shirt behind that's hanging looks pretty small.
It's really small, yeah.
Maud Ivory question mark?
That's a good analysis right there.
I know, I'm trying to like zoom in on things and see if I can figure anything out.
Wait, go back to the video of the kids running in the snow. See what they're wearing.
I thought it was a crop top.
No, I think
Yeah.
I think it's Little Snow's shirt. I don't know. Could be so many things.
Doesn't
It doesn't
really
look
kid shirt.
proportional for a kid.
It
Don't
does.
I feel like
think
if I feel like if your arms are that long, the shirt, like the stomach part, would be longer.
What?
Well, maybe there's an undershirt.
So it is a crop top. So you're saying there's a chance.
In comparing.
Maybe it's Grandma. Maybe goes to the club.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Enough about that.
I'm intrigued by this like weird shiny / reflective looking blanket thing at his feet.
Yeah, I feel like that's for like warmth.
Yeah.
Like an emergency blanket
Yeah.
almost.
Just weird.
Me trying to zoom in on the book titles.
Oh, same.
I feel like
I
there's
don't know.
like a robe type thing, like draped over behind Francis. I don't know. Maybe it's just a blanket.
I really feel like this could be either the penthouse or maybe the Covey house. I feel like there's evidence that supports both pretty much equally. So I'm just like,
I feel like the bottom paneling on the walls though looks more capital. Those lines.
yeah.
That's kind of what I'm
That's
getting.
if it was just the wallpaper, I could see District 12. Something about those panels throw me off.
Hashtag them panels.
But I feel like
Hashtag panels.
the Covey house is like that log cabin type thing by the lake. No, I'm not getting
Yeah.
that as like
I agree.
this would be the inside of that. But maybe.
They have a flower vase over on the wall. Ooh. What's that mean?
Oh, there is? Oh, it's like in a
Mhm.
cutout.
Mm-hmm. I'm a detail-oriented person.
Get it.
Interesting. I love how we're dissecting
Every
so
little
much
piece
out of
of
this
it.
one.
We're starved for content here, you guys.
Yeah, which was
Perhaps
a while probably.
Yeah.
perhaps a turtle shell that's painted white underneath that one book stand, maybe.
Huh?
Hmm.
I was trying to figure out what that is.
I think it's a turtle shell.
Like,
I
It
agree.
looks like
What
a
reason?
yarn.
Yeah,
they
that's what
ate
I
the
was
turtles.
thinking.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
We need more.
I feel like they're so focused on John Wick right now. Like that's gonna be the main focus until March. Really like pushing for that, and then
How many John Wick movies are there? I feel like there's 27 of them.
There's another one
How
coming
much-
out.
Yeah, in March.
I never
just
even
feel
saw
like
the first three.
I feel like the Lionsgate account only talks about John Wick. That's why I'm like, are we on to movie 27 already? Like, what's going on?
but it's like
Which is weird because this will be the 5th Hunger Games movie. So
Yeah.
But I feel like once that passes, like, and hopefully we get a teaser before that movie, then they're gonna be like super focused on Ballad promo.
I
That's
agree.
what I think.
it better be.
Mhm.
I feel like there's a good chance though, because I mean, them going to like the TikTok that we got, and the fact that that was posted to like TikTok's TikTok account, not just Lionsgate. That feels like that was a really big move from like the marketing
Yeah.
department, because that's where it got posted to first, and I was so confused when it first came out because the little watermark or whatever was just like at TikTok, and I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, but Nina says nothing official coming from.
Oh.
She sounded so bitter about that too. Maybe it's just like the voice that I give her in my head. You know how like some people will give like different voices to their pets, and like how they imagine that if they could speak, that's how it would be. I've never spoken to Nina, and I don't really feel like I'm familiar enough with her voice that like whenever I see like a tweet or something from her, I like read it in a very specific tone. And she just sounds like bitter and sarcastic all the time. So I don't know.
I can see
It's like
that.
yeah, it's not the first time where she's been like, ask Lionsgate, I don't know anything. Like
Problem. Well, should we talk about Mockingjay? We're at the end of Mockingjay this week.
It's the end.
It's so sad.
I know. I was
So behind. I haven't even read any of it. But classes are over, so now I can put all of my focus on what matters, which is the Hunger Games.
There we
Yes. hmm Just in time for Holly's favorite chapters.
go. Oh
Yes.
yes, the ending. Okay, so we start out and Snow is dead, and Katniss is in trouble because she killed Coin. Dun dun dun. But she tries to kill herself by taking the Nightlock, and bites PETA, which is something that I completely forgot about.
Yeah, more cinematic, I guess.
Yes. I'm like, what?
And the pill like falls to the ground and like
Uh-huh.
dramatically gets crushed under a peacekeeper boot.
She's so upset. Your book versus my book. I have nothing in here.
That's something I wish that could have been executed better in the movie.
Mhm. Yeah.
I was just saying on our episode of Mockingjay Part 2 that I feel like they should have gotten rid of the whole Nightlock thing in the movie, but that's just
Mhm.
my. I feel like it kind of ruins the surprise that she like is gonna do something at the execution.
I just feel like I agree with Jerry where it's like they could have either gotten rid of it or they could have done something like a little bit more. They like kind of half-assed it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I forgot this part that she like starts screaming for Gail.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I forgot that too.
Oh my God.
And they both just can't shoot each other.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I kind of wish this had made it in the movie, but like then again, would this be the last time you see Gail? And you almost need that like audible finality in the film where she says goodbye.
Mhm.
hmm
And then she says, I'm on my own, which I thought was interesting because Holly, you were talking about like how on her own she is, like in the movie, like the
Mhm.
final
Yeah.
scenes, like how lonely she feels.
That makes me so sad.
Mm.
The last little bit, like this last chapter is just so like lonesome, I would say. It makes me so sad. I thought it was interesting on 375 how she says, for all I know, I'm live on television at this very moment, while commentators try to analyze what could have possibly motivated me to kill Coin.
Oof.
Be on TV again, like, I don't know.
And yeah, she says, taking my life is the capital's privilege again. And I
Mhm.
thought it was interesting that she referred to it as the capital. Like it seems like even though she killed Coin, like she's very set on things not changing and like her still being on TV. Like she doesn't trust anybody, even though
Mhm.
it's more than just Coin, but she still had to like kill her.
Yeah.
Right. Right. The games are still continuing. Therefore, like this idea of what the capital is still exists.
Mhm.
I thought it was interesting that they took her to the training center, like the
Yeah.
12th floor
Mhm.
again. But also she says, like, she doesn't say that they go outside. They start at the mansion and then they go through different like hallways and stuff. And then she ends up in the training center. So I'm like, are they connected? The mansion
Oh,
That's
tribute
weird.
center?
that's a good point.
Because like that's Snow's old house, right? That's the penthouse.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Mm, that's
She's
a good connection.
she's also wearing a blindfold, so it could just be,
She is, but would she have felt the outside?
yeah. Good question.
Yeah, because it
Maybe
was
there's
winter time.
tunnels.
True.
But would she have felt the draft?
She says half carried down long passages up and down elevators. So she doesn't say they went outside.
Yeah,
So I'm like, maybe they're connected. I don't know.
that's interesting.
Mhm.
And then she's very intent on committing suicide. Like
Mhm.
it's so direct. And I just didn't remember it being that. She says, I need to focus now on the manner of my suicide.
Yeah. Which is really, really sad. Really hard to deal with. But then she starts to sing. I think that part is interesting. I forgot about this whole singing part.
Me too. And she's there for like months,
Mhm.
apparently.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Which is like,
Seasons to change.
how can no one visit her? Like, I would go insane. Like,
Maybe they couldn't.
Well, because she was on trial. There's no way someone who is on trial for like crimes against this new regime would have like any favoritism, any visits, any type of special treatment. I don't think anyways.
I know that would just drive me absolutely insane. And I'm like the most introverted person you'll ever meet. Like,
Molly started singing to her.
I'll start singing. Yeah. But it's sweet that she starts singing and thinking about her dad and the songs that he taught her. And then I'm thinking like, what ballad songs is she singing?
Right.
Yeah, this whole part is really rough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's worried that they're gonna use her again.
Yes, that's what I was
Oof.
Like, no, I'm done with that.
because
Not
she just
happening.
realized that she's been used this whole time.
Oh man, that would just split my mind. Like I would go crazy.
I know.
The
I
whole-
keep
Oh, sorry.
no, this is a bad comparison, but I think of like in Survivor when people start to go paranoid. I think of like in like how they can't like trust people and stuff. I think of it reminds me of that, but like times 100.
Mhm. And then she finds out that she gets to go home, I guess.
Haymitch comes in.
Yeah.
Your trial's over.
Just like that.
Which I wish we got to see any of that.
She just
Yes.
gets away with killing Coin.
Yes, because I've always had this fear that the fact that Coin was going to start the games back up never got told to people. And if it never got told to people, that people probably just thought Katniss snapped and did all this like just out of like, she had just lost it, which partly she has, but she did it for a reason. It wasn't like she was just out there killing people. And I was always afraid that they never told anybody about the games, because then it'd be like, oh, okay, well, she had a reason. My thing's always like, I hope that her reputation, even though she probably doesn't care about it, it wasn't tarnished in the eyes of people, that she went from like this heroic, rebellious leader to like this insane girl who was just like murdering the new president, all this, when really she had a great reason to do it. And for a while, I thought, well, they probably would have told about the games, but imagine the chaos that would have caused if you started that conversation up with the public. So part of me thinks that they probably never did say anything about the games being started back up. So then that makes my fear of her being just considered a psycho like even worse, because I don't really see the benefit of them telling people about the games since they never went through with it.
I don't think it would have helped Katniss's defense either, just because that's not like justice
Mm-hmm.
in the eyes of the law. So I don't know. I don't know if
I never
it's
thought about that.
It always just, I don't know, it makes me sad because if not, then I could see some people like thinking less of her because like, what happened to her? Like we had, this great thing going and we had a new leader and then she just kills her. Like what, and, most people, if you have an ounce of like sense, you'd be like, either she had a good reason or, she just snapped after everything she's been through. But I don't know. It just kind of makes me sad if her reputation was like tarnished in a way because of that. Because I don't think there's any reason to tell people about the Capitol games starting.
yeah.
I don't think that would be smart politically.
Well, the idea, like that could be something that comes up again. Like some people might be for it if people start talking.
Yeah, I think it could just either start a whole new war or, just absolute rage against other people. Yeah, it would be awful. So I hope that eventually came out.
But Katniss doesn't care about her reputation.
I know, but I do.
I do too.
She's mythic.
Her hypothetical reputation.
It's my favorite.
Concern.
The weird part that stuck out to me the most this whole chapter was Plutarch asking her if she'd like to perform on a new singing program that he launches in a few weeks. I was like,
American Idol.
like, what is this? I completely forgot. This was not my brain at all.
And it seems like maybe she does.
Yeah, she says, he'll send the crew to my house. Like they're coming. It's gonna happen. I was like, I read the chapter before Emily and I was like, wait till you get to the part where they're on the singing program. And Emily's like, wait, what? This doesn't add up.
Maybe they got there and walked into her house and were
Oh.
like, she's on the couch in the same clothes she was in a month ago. Let's maybe
Let's go home. Yeah, because it is a few weeks, but it never gets brought up again, which is kind of funny.
So Paler becomes the new president. Woo.
Oh yeah.
We love Paler. And then Plutarch has that quote about being
Stupid.
fickle
beings.
beings. Yeah. Which I like that quote.
It's probably not the time that it sticks.
Probably not. Hopefully it sticks for a little while though.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Like-
Yeah, definitely not witnessing the evolution of the human race.
And she finds out that her mother's not coming back to 12
Ugh.
and doesn't read the letter.
She doesn't even tell her. That's the part that gets me so upset is she doesn't even tell her that she's not coming back herself. Like she wrote a letter. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, her mom keeps failing her throughout this entire trilogy. Makes me sad.
And Gale doesn't go back because he's busy kissing other lips, apparently.
But Greasy Say comes over.
Lucy Gray comes up to help out. Okay, and then I thought of Taylor at this part where she says, I haven't even left the kitchen except to go to the small bathroom a few steps off of. Oh, I thought it was outside. Never mind. I thought it was an outhouse. Excited for a
Oh,
second.
dang. They had such an opportunity there.
I know. I thought it
Not
was
the West Virginia slander.
We love a good outhouse here.
Oh, you love.
I mean, we did see the outhouse.
That's what I'm talking
in
about.
District 12.
Yeah, it's canon.
But the Victor's Village is a step above, I
Yeah,
guess.
apparently. There's no outhouse.
In our minds, it's an outhouse.
Yeah,
it's outside.
exactly. Yeah, Greasy.
Legends.
Greasy Say brings her daughter, who is Lucy Gray's daughter, obviously.
Mhm.
We don't know her name though. It's fine. And then she wakes up and PETA is planting primroses outside. My favorite part.
I love when she has the dream and she thinks it's like her being buried or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love stuff like that. When there's like dreams that people hear stuff and then they wake up at something completely different. That's a weird thing, but I like it.
This part. Because you've said that before.
I know. When did I say that? Did we watch it?
Whenever, Katniss has a lot of dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I like how it's different from the movie because PETA coming is like this trigger for
Mhm.
her. She just sees him, says you're back, sees that he's planting the flowers, and then she goes back inside and like destroys.
Runs away.
She like does all kinds of stuff. She destroys the flowers, smashes the base, puts on new clothes.
Oh,
Ollie, did you accidentally connect to your car again?
it's not me.
Huns back. Have the Huns returned?
Whose Bluetooth is it? Huns.
The Huns.
They're back.
I wish. I'd love to meet them again.
She asked where Gail is.
In District 2.
Mm-hmm.
Dun dun dun.
And she feels like nothing but relief.
Yeah, same. Same. I'm like, get that man far away from her.
I had a weird experience with that part of it because in high school, I walked in one day and my teacher was like, my English teacher said, "Hey." I said, "Yes." She said, "What happened to Gale at the end of the Hunger Games?" She said, "Where did he end up going?" I said, "Well, he went to District 2. He started a new security job." Like I gave his like whole biography and she's like, "Okay, I just didn't know where he went. You didn't have to tell me all that." I was like, "I didn't even tell you that much."
It's so rude.
Well,
Next time, Chase, just be like, boy, do I have information on Inabaria that would rock your world.
do you have an hour of your time?
It's like if you don't want all this information, don't ask the giant Hunger Games
Yeah.
fan.
Right.
And then she decides to go hunting because she's so happy that Gail's not there.
But she sees people are burying
No.
the District 12 citizens who died.
And the mayor's family.
And
And
Madge.
Rip.
Madge, not Madge, please. I just think it's interesting that she included that whole paragraph about Madge
Mm.
after all this time.
I mean, that was like Katniss's BFF, so.
I mean, true, but she never really said that she was that close with her, so, or she never really talked about her that much. It wasn't like they were BFFs. I don't know.
I think it's nice. Rip Madge.
No, it is. I like it, but anything else, anyone?
She gets a ride home back to her house in the dead people's cart.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, because she's dead inside.
Yeah.
Oh.
What imagery?
Wow. And then the buttercup moment happens. But it's kind I mean, part of me wonders like how did that cat get all the way over from District? Really that like maybe it's closer than you think.
Someone must have dropped it off. Like, okay, here you go. You know your way.
Here's this cat.
Maybe some
Yeah, I
of
don't
the people that
assume
came
they
back
dropped
from
it.
13 Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Him, excuse me.
Just kind of were like, good luck, Cat. Here you go.
I like how Buttercup guards her while she's
Mhm.
sleeping. I think that's really sweet.
Like he did.
Yeah.
Maybe Hamish sent them to go get it for her. Let's say that.
Okay, but then she finally opens the letter from her mom. And then she calls her on the phone
Mhm.
and they like cry it out
I
together.
think that's really, that part is hard where like she talks about crying with Buttercup and then crying with her mom. And I'm like, oh,
Mm,
You know, that shows like reconciliation, like the start of it, like a little bit.
mhm,
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, the start of the healing process.
And then she creates the book.
What always hits me about that is like Hamish contributing to, like,
Yeah.
and thinking through all of the different tributes that he mentored,
Mhm.
and like something that we don't, I feel like, always think about that he's been carrying with him as
That's
well.
true. Yeah.
I would love to read that book.
That should be a book. Mm. They learn to keep busy again. And Peta and her grow back together. So then after when he whispers you love me, real or not real, I tell him real. Yes.
Oh,
Crying.
Oh,
Tears.
Whispering.
oh,
That's a good
I'm
quote.
very that's not the last line of the book though. I was thinking that today, like
kind of agree with you.
that
Even-
would have been a weird way to end it.
Even though I love Peta, it's like I don't want her story to be about Peta. But I understand like rebirth for her. But
I just like because the last line, like you kind of get that from that line, but the actual last line of the epilogue circles back to the war and the trauma of it all. And I just think that is a better ending to the story than I finally love him. You know, like that's kind of weak.
yeah, I
yeah.
So good job, Suzanne. Oh no, not the camera.
But I feel like in like Katniss's like smaller story, it's important.
it's like important at
It's like
as the
her
start.
moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like it where it's a good chapter ending, but
Yes.
Yeah, good chapter ending, but not the ending of the book. Yeah.
And then the epilogue. This epilogue always gets me. It doesn't matter like where I am, what I'm doing. They play in the meadow. I'm like, and I love how you don't learn their names. Like I know that's a little thing, but something about that just makes their presence just so much more powerful for me.
What do you mean? It's Ryan.
just don't call them Barley or whatever people call them.
Rye.
That makes me so uncomfortable when people call them
Ryan
stuff.
Willow.
That's what their names are. But I just like that because
And before the District 4 people were always Coral, and there actually is a Coral now. But like before, I was like, no, let's not just come up with stuff. Except you, AJ, you can do it because I like your drawings.
Klaus.
I think AJ has rights.
That makes me feel special. Thank you. I'll take it.
What I really like about this epilogue is that it's supposed to actually kind of be written in the future, like with this would be Katniss when she's older. And so like this is the perspective that she has like a decade or so later, you know? I like that.
It's almost like, I mean, because she says it took 5, 10, 15 years for me to agree. And then her first child's a little older. So it might be like 20 years after.
Yeah.
20 years, yeah.
How do you explain how much of like a badass you are to your kids though? That's what I always wonder is like, how do you just explain like, oh yeah, I was a pretty like My life was messed up, but I was actually pretty awesome. I led a rebellion. So
Watch my propaganda.
Yeah. But there are much worse games to play.
Oof, so good.
That's my favorite line.
Me too.
Yep, best
I
line.
have to agree. Yeah.
Wow, we all agree.
There's only one other chapter ending that ever beats it.
Not
But
the ants one.
the ants pour out of my eyes and I go black.
Why are you set on that one? No.
It's just so,
At the bottom of the tier list. I'm sorry.
it's just so gnarly. Like, oh,
Oh my
I
god.
remember reading that. Anyways, back to the actual line. Very touching.
Yeah.
This one's
Yeah.
at the top, I think.
Yeah.
Very top. Number one.
Yeah.
And that's the end of Mockingjay.
There are much worse games to play.
Dun, dun, dun.
The end.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we read Mockingjay. We've read Ballad. We've read Hunger Games. We've read Catching Fire. We've read Mockingjay. We've done it.
One more time.
Next up, Divergent.
And I'm out.
Oh my gosh.
I really like to read.
I did too. It still stands where it stands on my list though.
Ooh,
Where does it stand on your list again? I can't remember.
Hunger Games, Ballad, Catching Fire, Mockingjay.
Oh, so it's last. Wow.
Mine is
What?
a- Catching Fire and Mockingjay would be switched. Catching Fire moved from my favorite
To
to my
least
least
favorite?
favorite.
That's insane.
To me,
I tried to tell you.
One reread.
that's crazy. Let's hear everyone else's tier list. Gabby, what's yours?
Oh no, no, no. I've been avoiding this question.
Do it.
It is time.
Okay. All right. Okay. So oh my God, this feels impossible. And I feel like I could get strong responses from this. I so love Ballad and Mockingjay and how it connects so well to war and war theory and just like mental health and whatnot. But throughout like the story though, Catching Fire tells the story really well. Like I just think it's a well-written book. So it may have to be Ballad, Mockingjay, and Catching Fire in the Hunger Games.
Wow. It's gotten better every single time a new book's come out for you then.
Wait, the Hunger Games is last?
That hurted.
Listen, guys, listen. Okay, you could say Catching Fire and Hunger Games are tied, you know.
Okay. I accept.
Yeah.
It's yours. Hello?
I was really thinking about
What?
it.
What?
Is it me?
Yeah, Chase, you go.
Oh, okay. Mine go in the exact order of how they were written. The Hunger Games is elite, not even close. I like Catching Fire second, Mockingjay third, and Ballad is nowhere near the front. So
Wow, we're total reverse. All right, that's great.
yeah, I wish. Well, y'all know that. I wish Ballad would have never been written, but here we are.
Oh no.
I'm
Wait,
glad
really?
y'all like it. I
Wait,
don't-
really?
It just wasn't worth it for me, but
What?
I'm
No, that was
glad-
great.
That's how I
I
felt
think-
the first time I read it.
I think she took a great, wonderful trilogy that had no problems and wrote another book.
Emily has her head in her hands right now.
I'm sorry, it was not worth it. There was nothing in there that I needed to know.
Not worth it.
It helps create the
only
universe.
Are we not worth it? Chase?
Yeah,
The
seriously.
only thing,
Not
Probably.
okay.
the only thing in there that I would have wanted to know was how the game started. And that was one of the worst explanations. So it really just kind of deflated my whole hopes for the book after that.
How many times have you read it?
Once.
Okay, you need to read it
You gotta
again.
reread it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't think I needed the story, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, I didn't really care about Snow. I don't think Cyrus needs another
I mean,
book.
neither
I don't
did
think
I
any-
though. I feel like, Snow is not my favorite character or the one I'm most interested in. Don't let Tina hear that. But you know, I also was kind of like, okay, interesting choice for a main character for a new Hunger Games book. But to me, it makes sense. Like, as opposed to giving us like, if another book was going to happen, like, I prefer that it was about Snow than, let's say, Haymitch or Finnick or whatever. I mean, I would still
Yeah.
read that, no problem. But it makes sense to go with Snow. And I feel like I learned a lot more about his character than I thought I would. I think when Ballad was announced that it was going to be focused on Snow, I was kind of like, okay, I don't really see what Suzanne could add in here that would really add or alter my perception of the story. But then Ballad came out and I was like, oh, word. And then I was like, great, time to hyperfixate on every aspect of this book now.
So what's your ranking, AJ?
You guys are breaking up. No, I'm
Oh.
kidding. I was actually,
Yeah, seriously.
I was just trying to think about it when Gabby and Chase were talking, but I think,
It's hard.
it's very
is
hard.
very
I feel
hard.
like no matter what ranking I give, it's incorrect to how I feel, I guess.
Same.
Yes,
Same.
I
But-
agree with that.
I guess I'll put the Hunger Games first, only because that's where it all starts. And I feel like, I mean, even though the story that develops afterwards is incredible, I feel like, I don't know. The first book is just special because it's the first one. I don't think you need more
Mhm.
explanation. I think Catching Fire is second. And then it's kind of toss up between Ballad and Mockingjay because both of them confused me the first time I read them. Like, but both Mockingjay and Ballad are so complicated, I
Yeah.
guess, and layered. And I have a different experience with both of them each time I read them. And to be fair, I've reread Mockingjay more than I've reread Ballad, but still. But I'll say Ballad and then Mockingjay, but see, even that feels wrong. Like, I feel like there's no good answer. There's no answer that
Right.
I feel confident on. And I think it also just depends on my mood.
Mm-hmm. Gary, what is your ranking? You
See,
can't.
I'm kind of, I'm kind of the same way, but like with each book, I have different like reactions to it, and like they mean different things to me. Like,
Yeah.
but I feel like I have Mockingjay and Ballad in the top tier, and then The Hunger Games and Catching Fire at the bottom. But not like like they're like huge separation between all of them. But like I feel like The Hunger Games is above Catching Fire, but I feel like
Mm.
Mockingjay and Ballad are both like fighting against each other like that.
Yes.
Because I'm like I'm really invested in Ballad and like all the themes like around Snow and around how the capital is, and also like Katniss's personal story in Mockingjay is like so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Mockingjay is at the top of my list on the original series, but I
Yeah.
like Ballad so much. I don't know.
You know how like you can have multiple best friends?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're best friends with each of them for different reasons and you can't really quantify or outweigh them. That's kind of how it feels.
Yeah, like
Yes.
The Hunger Games is how I got into reading. So like
Right.
I remember reading the first book and like being 12 years old, we're like, wow, this is really good. And then Catching
Yeah.
Fire, what, they're going in again? And then,
Yeah.
Ballad, because,
Well said.
it's hard.
Well said.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, Taylor.
All right. My favorite would be Ballad because I think it's
Ooh.
much better written and I like a third person point of view better than like first person. I also just think it's like more complex and I like that. And just like Gabby said, I like the the political philosophy in it and all that.
Mhm.
I just thought it was a lot better than the other ones. But anyways, after that would be The Hunger Games, and then Mockingjay, and then Catching Fire.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
They're
Yeah,
all-
but like Jerry said, it's not like a big gap between them. 'Cause I
right.
love all of them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, I have to read Abby's in the comments. She said first is The Hunger Games, then Ballad, then
Mhm.
Catching Fire, then Mockingjay.
Way
So,
I agree with that.
Oh, that's good.
and Abby also said I hated Ballad the first time I read it, so read it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that ranking.
First time I read.
I will read it again.
We'll read
You
it
gotta
again.
read again.
It shan't change, but I will read it again.
Hopefully you
my
actually-
bookends are always probably going to be the same. Like the first one will always be first, the last one will always be last. It's the two in the middle that I could sort of make an argument for flip flopping.
Yeah.
But I'm bold enough to say that really, I mean, like a lot of people, the games is what drew me in. So the games are what drew me in. Sorry. So it would be hard to switch Catch Fire Mockingjay.
I think that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
it does.
to be the capital, right? So it makes sense.
Mhm.
Oh, Cherish also said her favorite is Ballad, followed by Catching Fire, Mockingjay, and then The Hunger Games last. I
Oh.
don't know how I feel about this The Hunger Games last business.
Agree. It hurts. It hurts.
Listen, it's a club that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's a club that gets wronger and wronger.
See, I think like the way I feel about it is, you know, like the desert island thing. Like if I could only bring one of them with me and that was like the only book, like I feel like I would bring the Hunger Games with me.
Like glue them all together.
Okay.
That's a good way to put it. If you could only bring one of the four with you, what would you bring?
I think the first one.
Me too, because it would also tell you how to survive out there.
Sure.
I mean,
Oh, that's
all
good.
right.
Although the second one is actually in a tropical island, so
Okay, well, it's not that literal. It's just
but it's artificial.
Yeah, or like if you could only save one of the books like in existence, you know,
Mm.
Mm.
First one.
because that's where
I
all
don't like that.
the wonder and the whimsy is for me.
I just think if you had the first one, like if you take out the last little like page or two, it could stand on its own completely.
They could.
I feel like it could stand on its own.
Ballad could too, I guess, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It would either be the Hunger Games or Ballad, which would make sense because they're both
They're bookends.
kind of like starters. Yeah.
but you need that little mystery. So I think the Hunger Games would take precedent over.
I feel like
part 1, part 2, part 3. Just take all 3 books and we'll make one giant novel.
Yes. Hear that,
Yeah.
Scholastic?
There's editions like that.
Really?
Yeah, there's I think an Italian edition it's bound with all 3 books.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Love that.
so that's the one Jerry's bringing.
Yeah.
Hope you
I'm gonna learn
hope
Italian
you know
just for that
Italian.
situation.
Italian.
Molto bene.
There we go.
Ciao.
Her name is Bella.
Okay, well, anything else tonight? Anything, any announcements, anything fun?
What's the best arena?
What?
That's the arena.
74, 75. Who you got?
75.
74.
Leaving out 10? Wow.
It has dogs.
We're picking a games?
I mean, if you want to do 10, you can, but I mean, you're talking about rabies and drones.
What's the question?
The better arena or better games.
74.
Better.
74.
Oh my god.
I think I like the concept of 75 more, but I would rather participate in 74.
All stars.
True.
The All Stars appeal is there, but All Star seasons never go as planned. So
I agree.
Or wait, are we also including the 50th?
That's what I was thinking
Sure.
too. I think
Ooh.
the 50th would be my favorite, but I could personally survive in the 74th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
50, I'm going out immediately. Like immediately.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you were voted to go. Imagine being nominated to go.
No,
That
that's
would be
terrible.
so sad.
And for what
If you
reason?
had to do a
Whenever-
big. Go ahead.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I talked too much.
No, I was just quickly gonna say, like, whenever I come across those like YouTube videos or whatever, where it's like people coming up with their own games for like random years, it always makes me think of the Saw franchise fan fiction where people come up with their own traps, and I'm like, are we all deranged? Like, we're all
Like
just
your
walking
episode.
around here coming up with the most elaborate ways to like kill people or like trap them, and I'm like, this is exactly what this series is about.
Yeah, literally. The sharks.
And they're both Lionsgate franchises. I just want to point that out. But conspiracy, coincidence.
Crossovers happening soon.
Oh my god, could you imagine? That would be both the best and the worst thing. I have like an odd fascination with the Saw franchise, but like I hate it at the same time.
So. Okay. Well, is that it for tonight, everyone?
Oh.
Ellie and I just staring at each other. We're just like, hey.
I feel like I have a kind of Hunger Games related question, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so while I was sick over the weekend and I was just watching TV, I was watching Pitch Perfect.
Yes, yes.
And then the second one came on afterwards, so I started watching that one. And Elizabeth Banks, her character at the beginning, like she's joking about how she's on her third husband. And one of the last names that she uses is Abernathy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, is that like an
Oh.
Easter egg? Like,
Good catch.
is that an Easter egg? Is that in reference to Hunger Games?
I'm sure.
What year did the
That has
sequel?
to be.
Well, I looked it up and they both came out, like the sequel and Mockingjay Part 2 both came out in 2015.
Oh, it's gotta be a reference.
So I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, is she like hiding a little Easter egg in there? So I was like,
That's
maybe
pretty
maybe this is common knowledge and I just am the first one to know or
She
the last one
directed
to
it,
know
right?
this. What?
Didn't she direct it?
Directed or
Yeah, I think she
Yeah,
was like
she
the
did.
producer or something.
And I mean, she loved being Effie, so I wouldn't put it past her to just like hang on to her role as much as possible.
Yeah, that sounds like something she'd do.
Yeah, but I heard her say, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that was intentional.
Oh, that's a great catch. I think I was also watching that. It was on TV, so I think we were watching the same channel.
Yeah.
And I didn't even notice that. That's amazing.
So
Not the
anyways,
Pitch
that was
Perfect
mine.
marathon.
Well, that's a fun way to end tonight's episode.
I love when like people sneak stuff into movies like that.
Yeah.
Little things that you.
I got a ticket for the long way round.
Good job. Keep going.
Amount of whiskey.
The finale, the Troublemakers,
I've got the magic.
yes, that is the best, best cinematic moment in my opinion ever.
Mhm, I agree.
Which one is it?
The Troublemakers finale song. It's so good.
Really?
I love it.
Huh.
You haven't seen Pitch Perfect?
No.
We're gonna watch Pitch Perfect.
Oh
Oh,
no.
those are
Yeah.
amazing movies. Get ready.
They're pretty funny.
Wow.
The sequels, I don't think are that good.
They're not that good. It's the first
Yeah,
one.
the
Yeah.
third one is so strange. I did not
And
understand.
Who directed the sequels?
Great rock.
Right. That I thought that was her. Which new movie she's in about the bear on drugs?
Oh my god.
Cocaine Bear. Isn't she in that?
She directed it.
Oh no. Oh no. She tries. She tries.
Guys, what are we gonna do next week? Script reading, script reading, script reading, script
Yes.
reading.
Oh,
Yep,
yes,
yep.
I haven't read it. I would love to do that.
Do
Yes.
I
we even know
haven't,
where we
like-
left off?
No, but I
I feel like
also
we just
know
have to
that
start over at this point.
Yes, please.
I haven't continued past whatever we read, so I've been on a cliffhanger for like 8 months or however long it's been.
Sometimes I just think about Gail on the coal car and I start laughing.
I do too. I'm like,
keep
wait, why am I
spoiling
on that?
Oh my god.
I really think about that sometimes, especially when I'm just like in a mood to like work on my own characters or my own storylines, like just for funsies in my own head. And then I get self-conscious in my own head about like my own storytelling abilities, and then I'm like, at least it's not Gail on a capital train.
When I see a train go by here with coal, I think of just Gail just riding on the top.
What in the Divergent is going on here?
I don't want to be strong and brave and smart, selfless and kind.
Okay, friends. Well, is that it for tonight? Before we read the script next week?
I think
Okay.
so.
Okay,
Suppose
well,
that's it.
get ready. Get your reading glasses on for next week. Have a good week.
Rest those vocal cords.
Night.
We're all
Bye.
on vocal rest for the next week.
Me.